guys, so I haven't actually been given a theme, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk about what I want to talk about. And what I want to talk about today is my citizenship lesson, which I just had, and it made me really, really angry. One of the tasks that we had was listing female and male stereotypes, just listing them for no apparent reason. And the whole lesson just made me really angry. It's difficult for me to explain why exactly it did that, but it did. I mean, the course in itself, the citizenship textbook, talks about things like female stereotypes and why they are the way they are, and I don't know, our history as humans and all this stuff, and it's not necessarily bad. One, I don't get the point of just listing stereotypes. Two, obviously I believe as a feminist that the stereotypes are wrong. Three, I don't know why we have to differentiate between males and females just in that way. Four, I don't see why the fact that some people don't identify themselves as a male or as a female, that wasn't addressed at all in the textbook. And I brought this point up, and my teacher was like, "Oh, okay, so why don't you consider yourself to be a male or a female?" And I was like, "Well, no, I consider myself to be a female, but there are people that don't." And so he goes, "Oh, so why do you care?" And that I just don't. It's like whenever I talk about rights for, for example, gay marriage. Whenever I talk about gay marriage, people will immediately assume that I'm a lesbian, or they'll ask me if I'm a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with being a lesbian. People can think that I'm a lesbian if they like, and I don't have a problem with that, unless of course there are a male that I find particularly attractive or something. But the fact that there's this misconception that we should only care about these things if they affect us personally, I just think it's completely wrong. And I'm actually really, really angry about it. I had to film this video about 8 times because I just end up shouting, and I'm just trying very hard to stay calm. And how would I rather it be taught? How would I... Because obviously there are these stereotypes, and that out there in the open, I don't want them to be a taboo subject, but what's the point in listing them? There are also racial stereotypes. If there was ever an exercise in the class saying, okay, write down the stereotype of Asian people, and the stereotype of African people, and the stereotype of Northern European people. If that was a task in itself, just to write them just for no reason, there would be outrage. I don't see why it's any different for sexism. And it just really made me angry how whenever we were talking about any sort of exception to what is the norm, you had people scoffing and stuff. When I think someone brought up the fact that, there are loads of house husbands and there are women in the family who go and, earn money or whatever, and people were scoffing like there's something wrong with that. And, rather than listing these stereotypes, which isn't really going to achieve anything at all, I just think the time would be much better spent, explaining to people why these stereotypes are stereotypes and not facts. It's like the whole idea, and I'm saying this in all seriousness, the whole idea of women being in the kitchen is, I don't even know how I'm going to be phrasing myself. I don't even know what part of it that I'm angry at. I'm just angry at all of it, the whole thing. I can't even articulate what I mean to say and why I am so angry that this was the case. It's not only people's reaction to the course, it's not only the course itself, it's not just the way it's taught, it's just everything to do with it. And citizenship is a waste of time. That's what I think. The lessons are a waste of time. They could be so much better. Obviously we do have Logo to turn out in this country, and people obviously do need to be educated about these things. These things being, you know, basic politics. But citizenship doesn't do that. All citizenship does is enforce stereotypes, just for no reason. And I don't think it's really benefiting anyone at all. This is what you guys get when you don't give me a theme. Cool.